Alright, what is going on, everybody? This is Trudger MC, and today I have another Marvel Select figure review. This time we have Captain America, and apparently this is the collector's action figure with accessories, otherwise known as the new Captain America figure. And I have to say, this figure is really solid. The QC on this figure isn't exactly the best. I'll get into that later, but I feel like as a whole, this guy is really solid. So, compared to the, here he is compared to the first Marvel Select figure that I have. Here is Spider-Man. So, about to the bottom of their feet, they're about that tall. So, that's pretty good. Captain America has some size to him. And then compared to McFarlane Batman, again to the bottom of the feet, they are, well, Captain America is a little bit taller than him, but that's alright. So, if you're wondering how tall the guy actually stands, well, we'll find out. To the bottom of his feet there, to the top of his head, looks like he is about, let's say, about 7 3/4 inches. Give or take. And then in terms of centimeters, again to the bottom of his feet there, to the top of his head, looks like he is just shy of 20 centimeters, give or take. So let's look at this guy here. So I feel like as a whole, he really checks out. I really like the detail of the head. I really like how this look is kind of a militarized look, but also a costume look, which when I think of Captain America, that's what I think of. I think that he has to have a suit that's both a superhero costume, but also like a military type uniform. And by the way, if y'all want him to look more traditional, and y'all don't want him to have this and this, you can take it off. That's an option. He actually comes out of the package without these things on, but I actually prefer the look for him. But you can take it off. That is part of the accessories. We'll get into that later. But yeah, so he does have a star on the back there. Then he has some red and white detailing. And I have these on mainly, well, for one thing, they were kind of a pain to get on. I don't really want to take them off and put them back on. And then the other thing is I think it sort of completes the look that he's more than just red, white, and blue. This way he has like some brown and some silver there with the belt and the things there. So I really like that, and I also like that he has some black here with the A there. I like that. And yeah, I really like the way that his gloves look. His gloves look really good. I like the texturing that they have there a little bit on the arms, and then a little bit on the chest too. I think that looks really good. And yeah, so his boots, kind of the same deal. I really like that. And yeah, so I know that I'm pretty much just saying that I really like this figure, but that's because I don't really know what else to say, because I mean, y'all can see it, that he looks really good. He looks like an action figure, but he also looks like a collectible, like, piece of, you know, Marvel stuff. So I think he checks out. He looks really good. So as far as what he can do, now here's where I have some QC issues. So I know from the accessories, as you can see here, it comes with alternate heads, and both of the alternate heads come with alternate necks, where you can have it be where he is where he's not really wearing this full cowl, and he actually comes with the cowl that is detached. So he's supposed to be able to have his head, which his head comes off really easily. There we go. I just decapitated the cap. So the head comes off really easily. Now, I can tell, again, from these, he comes with alternate necks, so his neck is supposed to be able to come out, but I cannot get this thing to move at all. This is stuck there. It's probably because of the paint, because, again, I can tell if that's supposed to move, but for mine, it doesn't. So that does hinder the articulation a little bit, but his head, it can move, like, he can move up that far, down that far. He can have some rotation there. He can sort of turn to the side like that. I think that looks really good. Now, what it's supposed to do is that you have the head, it's the same kind of articulation, but then the neck can also move around a little bit. So it's supposed to go kind of like this. That can be looking down or, like that kind of a thing. But I can't do that with mine because, again, the neck is stuck like that. But other than that, his arms can go up about that far. I think that's pretty good. You do have a bicep swivel, and you have a double jointed elbow, which putting both of those together, you get that much. Which I think, considering the guy has giant muscles, I think that's fair. And it doesn't look too bad either, so can do that. And then for his hands, he has a whole bunch of hands, and they have a swivel, or not a swivel, a hinge, and they can also rotate because of the way that they are. And we'll get into the alternate hands in a little bit. But yeah, so there is that. Now it is kind of stiff, kind of rigid, but that's fine. I kind of just got this guy out of the package not too long ago. So then for the torso, you have the joint up here. It goes back that far. So with both of them together, so both the top joint up here and then the bottom joint down here, he can go back that far, and he can go forward. Just try not to move the legs right now. He can go forward, not very far, but that's okay. It's all good. Again, he's a big muscular guy, and he's not known for being particularly flexible like this guy is, so I think it's all good. And then for the legs, let's see what the legs can do. They can go out about that far, so I'd say that's basically full splits, going out to the side like that. He can do the side splits. Can he do the splits where he's going like this? So he can go forward that far and back that far. I think that's pretty good. And then, yeah, so when you do move the legs, his leg doesn't just go straight back. It does kind of turn off to the side like that. But I think that's all good. So he can do that. And then for whatever reason, this leg is really loose, but it's all good. And then for the knees, he does have a double jointed knee. And you have both of them together. They can go back that far. His lower leg does seem to be a little bit long, but it's all good. And then for his legs, they can go back that far. They can go forward that far. And then they can sort of rotate a little bit. But it kind of feels weird if you do that. So it's really just going back and forth like that. And there's no boot swivel or anything like that. At least if there is, mine is stuck. And yeah, that's about it for articulation. So I think for Captain America, again, being a big, muscular soldier guy, I think this works. Now, as far as what he comes with, so he does come with this head, which is my preferred look for him. And then he does come with 2 fist hands. And you also did see this. He comes with a shield, his round shield. That's, he's known for using this, currently in the comics as well as from the movies and all that kind of a thing. And it does come with this piece. So the reason why I didn't have this on is because he has a hole in the back of his harness here, and you can just have it on him like I showed at the beginning. But you can also attach this piece to it, and then what you can do is you can have that go, preferably, that way. You can have it go inside of his hand, sort of like that. So I'm not going to try to force it on there, but y'all get the idea that you can basically hold it like that. And if y'all don't like the round shield, he does come with this shield, which is a more shield shape than a circle, and it does come with the same kind of thing. And yeah, this isn't my preferred shield for Captain America, but it is available to you if you so choose. And then speaking of, alternate looks, like I say, he does come with this alternate head, which is kind of what he used to wear. Not really my look, but again, it's here. And then if y'all just want him to be Steve Rogers, he can just be Steve Rogers. He kind of looks like a Ken doll, but yeah, that's all good. So he does come with that, and then he also does come with his mask that is sort of down. So theoretically what you can do is you can have both of these together, and then it can look like that, where it's basically the same guy, but he has his mask down. And then with alternate hands, he does have the 2 fists that I showed you, but he also has a pointing finger so that he can be like, you, yes, you You must subscribe to Treasure MC. Captain America's not evil. But he does have that. He also does come with 2 hands where he can be saluting or he can be karate chopping or, whatever. That kind of a thing. If you want to pretend the Superman he's flying, you could use that for that too. And then he does come with 2 grabbing hands, which can kind of work with his shield, but at the same time he doesn't come with a gun or anything like that. So I feel like it's kind of weird that he has these, but I'd rather have them than not have them, especially for $30. He does also come with this, which is, from what I can tell, the same thing that came with the Spider-Man figure that I reviewed. It's basically just a brief little thing showing figures. Now, again, it does show some Marvel characters that haven't been made into figures before, and I really want them, in particular, to make a Kamala Khan figure. I think that would look really cool. But, yeah. And then, really, the only other thing to go over is the box here. And the box is really big. As anyone who knows Marvel Select, you would know that they like to have really big boxes. It definitely has enough room for all of his accessories, so there's not really a whole lot of detail on the inside of the box there. And then on this side, we get a nice little image of Captain America himself from the comics. And then on the back here, we have some pictures showing basically, like what the figure can do. So it shows a little blurb there if y'all don't know who he is. I also like that it shows who designed it and who sculpted it, so that's pretty cool, so you can read that. And then it does also have some alternate looks that you can have for him, so I think that's cool. And then it does also have a main picture of him like that. So yeah, in conclusion, again, I am kind of new to the Marvel Select game. This is my second ever Marvel Select figure, and do I think it's worth it for $30? I would say absolutely. I think this is definitely worth a pickup. Spider-Man, I felt like you could kind of go one way or another because he had some good things, but he also had some bad things, so it was kind of up to you what you preferred. I personally like this figure, but I could totally get why you wouldn't like it. But if you're into Captain America or just Marvel Select and you want to put together like a 7-inch scale Avengers to go up against like a 7-inch Justice League or something like that, y'all could totally do that. And I feel like this figure is definitely worth it. So, yeah, even with the QC, like, again, I can't get the neck to move, but I'm okay with that because I want Captain America to look like this, as opposed to this or not having his cowl on in the first place. So, I'd say it's definitely worth it. Just beware that there might be some QC issues. But, yeah, so that's about all I have to say there. So, if you did enjoy this video, if you enjoyed the video, you right there, then be sure to leave a like and stay tuned for some other potential reviews. So be sure to subscribe if y'all don't want to miss out. And yeah, other than that, I will see you all later. Goodbye.